Silver smoke and whispered names, candle flame that knows no shame. In the stillness, shadows wake, secrets stir in what we make.
In the shadows where the embers glow, we've built our haven, let the courage flow. With iron will we carve our fate. Together we stand, it's never too late. From ashes deep we draw our might, with flames that dance, igniting the night. Welcome home to the Hearth and the Stag. We'll never break through fire and wreck.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hearth and the Stag. As you have not already noticed, I'm by myself tonight. And that's unusual. Jen is not going to be here with us tonight. Unfortunately, she's got some how can I say this? Some stuff that she's got to do before an actual doctor's visit. So she wasn't able to make it tonight. So I'm here. I'm here with you guys. Unfortunately, right? We miss Jen. I know we miss Jen. I miss Jen. And I hope that everything goes smoothly tonight. I hope everything goes smoothly for Jen tonight. We sure hate for her to be uncomfortable as much as I am uncomfortable tonight. But she's going to be missing us tonight, and I'm going to be missing her. So you got me, a whole full night. And I have a special guest with me tonight. I'm excited to introduce this little young lady here. Kristie London will be on the show tonight. Kristie's an experienced medium and a Reiki Master, blessed with the ability to communicate with spirit and tap into the natural energy around her to help her heal others. Everybody, please welcome my friend, Kristie London. Hi, Kristie.
There we go. I was muted. I didn't want to pull a mic. Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me. I'm well, thank you. I'm sorry to hear that Jen couldn't make it for those reasons. I hope everything comes out okay. Sorry.
I hope she's very comfortable on her throne tonight.
Me too. We're just gonna get right to it, aren't we, Sid? I love it.
Well, I mean, when she turns around and watches this later, she'll look at this and go, "Sid, you're a jerk." I know.
I'm sorry, Jen. I was looking forward to meeting you, but honey, you got to do what you got to do. We're all that age, right? So we'll catch you the next one.
Yeah, well, maybe. No, I don't think we will.
Oh,
I don't want to. Oh, never mind. I need to stop with the old inside jokes before she really kills me. Well, welcome to the show, Kristie. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Officially, I've been following you for a few years. Officially, this is
we've known each other for quite a few now.
Yeah, for probably about 4 years or better, maybe, or give or take.
Longer.
Has it been longer than that?
Yes, we were on WLFE when we were all doing that. We were working with Teddy.
Let me remember this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember.
I
remember that was one of my first times. I was just starting to get into the scene when I joined them guys.
Same. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what happened. You brought up an old memory, Kristie.
Oh, go me.
Go you. You brought up an old memory that I don't remember. Let me get the little hellos here. Hello, Scott. Good evening to you, buddy.
Hi.
Hello, Alexis. Good evening. Moon Dancer says you got this. Until I don't.
Don't worry, I got you. We'll do this
I'm
together.
already having all kinds of difficulties here. There she goes. Hi, Moon Dancer. I'm trying to. They redid this whole StreamYard, and sometimes it confuses me. Hello,
A
Amanda.
lot of new updates.
This is a new viewer tonight. Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Blessed be Moon Dancer to you as well. So yeah. So people don't. When I first met you, you was doing a show called "Where's My Sage" for that station.
Yes.
And that's I watched quite a few of those shows, and very interesting show, by the way, too. Hopefully one day that you guys will get back to doing that again.
It would be nice. We have been talking about it. We didn't purposely stop. It just kind of on some level ran its course, but at the same time, life got in the way. So it was just one of those things where now every time we talk about planning it again and trying to do something with it again, life gets in the way. So we're trying to figure out if we're supposed to do it at all, or if we're just supposed to maybe bring it back and refresh it or something. But we are still a team. We still do work together. We still do go out and do investigations. We did a residential a couple weeks ago for somebody. So Mike and I are still very good friends, and we still work together on this level. The show it's just almost if I don't know, just
sometimes the universe will look at us and sometimes we don't want to stop doing what we're doing, and then the universe steps in and says, "Oh, we take a break here, step away, regroup, energize yourself, and come back more creative. Be more creative when you come back."
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of work. People don't realize that, kind of like we were talking about earlier, the work that goes behind, into all the behind the scenes, to try to do the best you can so people really enjoy it. And it can be a lot. And so, I just after a while felt like I just want to do my thing. But we had the best people we have lots of followers that still, are stick with us. But it's hard to have like a guest or, keep it after the guests and define guests and topics and make it interesting for people. We tend to have the best turnout for our shows when we just do an impromptu show, or we just get on there and just be ourselves, whether I'm busting his chops constantly, which he is a great sport about it. But that's the kind of friendship we really have. He lets me abuse him and I get away with it. So it's all fun and games. Poor guy. He's got his wife at home. He's got his work wife here, So
he's not in a very good situation, is he?
No, well, he's definitely fighting a losing battle, but he's a good sport about it. So, yes.
People really don't realize all the things that go on behind the scenes of putting a show together. When I first started doing it, when I first met you guys, there was this excitement of something new that I've never done before. And then, 5 years later or so, that since we've known each other, there's a lot of almost 400 shows into it now. I've done different forms of shows that I've done, and it's like,
you've been busy with that.
400 of them, 378, I think, shows that I've actually done since I've begun doing that. Is crazy, right? It's crazy.
I don't even know how many we've done between live investigations and
the only reason why I know is because I wanted to make sure that I got the right episode for tonight, right? So I went to my YouTube channel to see, and it showed me 378 shows.
Okay, so I can relate to that because I used to have to number the shows because we would number them. And I used to have to really keep track of that too. I completely understand.
So
I know we were definitely well over 100.
Smart or anything, or I've got my shit together. I just looked today.
That is still a number one in my book. Are you kidding me?
That many shows.
You can go look for it. That's all that matters.
At least I know where it's at to find out, right?
Yep, that's all that matters.
but we're doing these shows like this, and I didn't realize almost 400 shows, and there is this extreme. I like to create things, so I'm always changing ideas and show ideas. That's just who I am. But I'm like, man, 300 of them is interviews or better of bands or people
That's
like
a lot.
yourself. And it's like, you don't realize all the hard work that you put behind the scenes until
Yep.
after the fact that you do it.
Yep.
It's more time consuming doing the behind the scenes stuff than it is to actually put the show on. But you want the show to also be entertaining,
Right.
informative, and you want everybody to have. I want everybody to have fun.
Yes. Yep.
But sometimes that
It's
never works out in my favor.
well, and you can put all the effort in the world into it. You can think you've got the best guest. You can think you've got the most this extreme content and this unique content, and you can be like, yeah, you're all pumped up for it, and you're ready to go. You're convinced that you're gonna have a great turnout. Everyone's gonna love it. There's gonna be questions, and then there's not. It doesn't turn
There's,
out the way you think, and then you
nobody
do
shows up.
something.
You're
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what gets me when I first started doing it, there's lulls when you do these type of shows, especially when you do them weekly. One week you can
Yes.
have 25, 30 viewers. The next week
Yes.
you have nobody.
Right.
And sometimes it's on of our own doing, oversaturation of doing the same shows over and over again. But
Right.
when you get on here, especially with StreamYard, I can see how many people watches or tuning in. So if I see nobody, I start getting nervous. I start getting angsty.
It's nerve-wracking, isn't it? You're like,
It
"Oh my
is.
God, no one's here. Are you kidding me? Why aren't they
Who am I
here?" I
talking to?
know.
Nobody.
I know. But the nice thing is, I don't know about you, but we were streaming. We were not just a podcast, we were a podcast. So we actually were on, oh my gosh, 8 different I mean, like Yahoo, we were on or Apple, we
I
were
could never get
on
away with that.
like we were and Mike, so as much as I bust his chops, like during the shows, I'm the one who kind of does whatever. He's the one who's doing the real work, and even during the shows, what you don't see is everything he's doing behind the scenes, which is what you're doing, right? But keeping everybody straight, keeping all the questions going, keeping all the technology running, making sure everything is good, making sure it's running right, so he can upload it later to all the different platforms that we belong, that we were on, that people were looking for. So, I mean, we were very blessed that way, and we were very lucky.
Yeah, I could never.
Our hard work paid off. What's that?
I would have never gotten away with putting myself on other platforms. My language sometimes would never allow it.
Oh no. You haven't watched our show in a while. Mike has a ticker for me. He has a warning for my mouth. He does. I'm not
A coin jar or a dollar jar. Someone will walk away fucking rich.
Listen, number one, if I'm doing a reading and I have to say something verbatim, guess what's going to happen? It's coming out, right? Good thing I have no shame. However, I do also have a potty mouth, but I do try to control myself. So can I swear? Smart ass Michael made a ticker for me, right? And says, warning, explicit language.
Did you just ask me to swear?
I know. I did. I was trying to be polite. It's not my show, but so, yeah.
She asked me if she could swear. Of all the things that I've heard on this show, I don't think anybody has asked me, is it okay to swear?
I know, sorry. Because normally I don't care. I just do it.
Yes, Kristie, you can swear.
You're mocking me. What the hell? You're mocking me.
You can swear.
Why we get along so well?
Yes, you can swear. So, anybody that doesn't know Kristie, please give her introduce yourself. Tell everybody what it is that Kristie London does. She goes, oh boy.
Gets herself into a lot of trouble, usually. I hate talking about myself. That's why I love doing these shows. Hi, I'm Kristie London. I am the blue-eyed empath. I have been working publicly as a medium since 2014, but I've been gifted my whole life This is all I know. But, back when I was growing up, it wasn't something that you, paranormal and gifts and things like that they weren't talked about, at least not in every family. I know there are some people who for generations they were, it was normal, the family acknowledged it. Mine did not. They didn't look down on it, it just wasn't a thing. So spent a lot of my childhood being frustrated and being scared and trying to figure things out, because it just wasn't something that was a thing for me. So, or in life. But as I got older, I started realizing what was going on. And around that time in the mid 90s, that's when like Montel Williams had,
I haven't heard
remember that
in a
show?
while.
Remember that show? Well, he had, no, I'm okay. So listen, guys, perimenopause is a bitch. Sorry, this brain fog thing is awful. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to blank Sylvia Brown.
Did she just say that? She did.
What, perimenopause?
I forget things because it's premenopausal.
So Sylvia Brown was on there, and I remember catching it one day after school, and I was like, I don't even think I could have helped myself. I was just naturally drawn to her. And watching and hearing what she was saying, I could relate to that, where I could never relate to anybody on that level before. Nobody understood, nobody knew. So that was like my first real taste of this whole thing and who I was and what was going on with me. So yeah, it's been a lifelong journey for me. And then
to get you off the subject of talking about yourself, because I can tell that you're uncomfortable talking about yourself. It's obvious that she doesn't like doing it. So with like Jen, there's Jen. Hi, Jen. Good to see you.
I'm working on getting better at these things. Okay.
I can tell. So, but this is a show about you, so we got to talk about you a little bit.
Okay.
Then we can talk about me. Just kidding.
Who? Sorry, what? Who? Oh.
Who? Sid? No, never.
Who's that?
Who's that guy? So what was it like for you then, Kristie, growing up as a kid? At what point in your childhood did you realize that you had these gifts? And how did you cope with it? Because I'm sure there's people out there, maybe young kids, teenagers, that are starting to walk into their abilities and their gifts, but it's scary. But what was it like for you, and what was the mechanisms or the tools that you used to get you through those moments?
So for the scary moments, like when I would be home alone, and there would all of a sudden be something there that I couldn't identify. But it was so overwhelming that it had me paralyzed. Thank God for cordless phones back in the 90s. I would call my grandmother. And no matter what time it was, my dad's mom, and no matter what time it was.
Did she have gifts?
She, years later, she passed in 96, unfortunately. I was a senior in high school. I later looking back on it, yes, I'm convinced that she did. Nobody else really seems to think that she did.
Did grandma ever say that she had any abilities? Or she just really just one of those type of grandmas that, hey, you can call me anytime, no matter what it is?
It was. She made me feel safe. She understood me. She didn't judge me, but she also made me, the way she handled me made me feel like she understood it, not just being a good grandmother who cared about me, but I really felt like she got it. And, she was very protective and loving and caring anyway. So if my grandpa went and woke her up at night for me, she would stay on the phone with me until someone came home, and I felt that pressure from whatever was there go away. So that was really my coping mechanism as far as like standing out as a kid or standing out with other people. I never felt like I fit in, even if I fit in, But even when I fit in, I still didn't fit in because I always knew things people didn't. And I had, it didn't matter how comfortable I was with a person or a group. I still felt like I was once removed, almost just a little bit off to the side. And after a while, you start to know and realize that you can only rely on yourself for most things. So that's what I did. And so you either have a choice. You can either pull back and let it beat you and get to you, or you can choose to step into your power. And, as a young teenager and a little kid, you don't see, it's not how you're comprehending it, but that's essentially what you're doing. You're just going to be who you are, and that's it, which a lot of people who knew me, family especially, would say, yeah, when you were a kid, you didn't give a thought to what anyone thought. You just did what you did. And that's how I've gotten through most of my life. Not even tunnel vision. It's almost as if I felt like at times I was being protected so I could just be who I needed to be, or just so I didn't realize what was going on around me, whether it was with people making fun of me or people leaving me out. And so those feelings were hard to deal with. Because even when I had friends, I was not always the first phone call. I was not always but I was the kind who got along with everybody. Like I could go sit at the table with, the one group of kids. I can go and then sit with the other group of kids, and I can go with the other group of kids, but I never belonged anywhere.
I can relate to that a bit.
Mechanisms. What's that?
So I can relate to that a little bit. I don't feel like I fit in anywhere either.
Yeah. And then I realized that I'm grateful for that, because even now it's the same way. But as a young adult and an adult, whether it was my gifts or other things, you want to fit in, you want to belong, you want to feel like, yeah, people care enough to call me and include me. It is lonely when you are not. But then you realize later, and sometimes you don't find out, but sometimes you do. Wow, am I really glad I wasn't involved in that? Right? Or,
Right.
Because I don't have any time for that bullshit. So there are just things that's number 3, right?
We're going for it tonight. We're going for a dirty dozen tonight, folks.
Let's do it. Yeah, but I mean, you figure out that, what, even with people you can trust, you start realizing that you still value your own peace. And as much as I love the few close friends I have, there are times where I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that I'm not overly involved. I'm glad I'm not whatever, but I'll always be there for them, and they'll always be there for me. But it's okay that we don't talk all the time, or we're not always getting together. It's a good thing. You learn balance. But for me, most of it, I was on my own. It wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I really grabbed onto it. But I was a young mom. So again, I was already forced. At 20, I had my son, and 20, 21, 22, almost, I had my daughter. And then later on, 29, I had my youngest. But so the older two kind of came up through this with me and finished this process, I guess you could say, my learning process, my actual coming into my own. And it was kind of cool because when I started seeing my kids and what they were going through, instinctively, I was just guided as to how to help them. And then when I mentored a few years later and finally dove into this to learn really about myself and to figure it all out, everything that I had learned, I was already doing instinctively. So I was already connected with my guides. I was already connected, on that level. And it made me feel better because it validated me being me. And especially when I remember all the stuff, the tough parts, the shitty times where I was left out, I felt alone. I felt isolated. Right?
Yeah.
I'm keeping it light, man.
We're slowly turning into the dark side.
Oh, honey, I've been and gone. I come and go as I please. What are you talking about?
Do you remember your very first? Let me get a couple comments here before I ask this next.
Sure.
Mary Beth says, I opened up after a dream with my mom who passed, changed everything for me. Amanda Elsner, I think I'm saying that right. If not, I do apologize. I love this right here. This right here says it all. I never fit in either because I was meant to stand out.
You got it, honey. 100%.
That's like standing in your power type of shit right there.
It totally is. But if you think about it, that's really how we're all supposed to be. It doesn't matter if we're open to our gifts or not. We are supposed to be who we are and do
Must
what
be
we're
those
supposed to do.
badass that we was born to be.
Exactly. You got to be who you were supposed to be, born who you're born to be.
Mary Beth says it's nice to be around others who get it, though.
Yes.
And William, yep, trying to cope with having visions in my younger years and wondering who I could trust to talk about it with.
Yeah.
Well, there's that aspect that you don't want to come out with it because you don't want everybody to point their fingers and go, "Oh, this chick's crazy" or "This dude's crazy," because that's going to be the reaction, especially us Gen Xers. Back when we were growing up, you don't talk about stuff that might make you look a little crazy.
You got that right.
You just don't. Nowadays, it's more acceptable. It's people are more open to the idea. But back then, they would look at you, act like you was batshit crazy. And technically, I am.
Well, that's why you're my kind of people. I don't know what to tell you. We asked my kids' friends when they were growing up who they were more afraid of. They weren't going to say my ex-husband.
They're going to say
Greg, who is 6'3", or Mom, who is 5'3". Oh.
Talk to Casper. Do you remember the very first time, Kristie, that you've experienced something like for the very first time? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
I do.
What was it? How old was you? What was it? What was the experience like?
I was 3.
You were 3? Well, holy shit.
Yes, I was 3. And it's funny because I just did an interview. It was just featured in Ghost Buzz magazine. And this was a question that I actually answered. Yeah, it was awesome. I was very flattered, very honored to be asked for that. And that was my earliest experience that I can remember. I can remember back to the first house that I lived in, and I was 3 when we moved from there. And I remember my sister, it was a very tiny house, and my sister is 17 months younger than me. So she was still in a crib there. And I remember being able to climb into the crib, and I usually had a bowl of cereal with me, and there were no windows in her room. So there was no light, there was no air, there was no nothing. So I remember sitting in the crib, and those are my first memories of staring off and being drawn to stare in a certain spot. And I never knew any different. When I would look into a room or look wherever I was, the whole room could be clear, but one spot would sometimes be wavy or plasmic looking, like the air changed. Well, I thought that was normal because that's all I knew. So here I'm assuming everybody did that or saw that, or that's how it was for everybody. That was, because it never, never manifested into anything. It would just, the rest of it eventually ended up being up here. But physically with my eyes, it's almost like when you look through the fumes of a grill, and you see how it changes.
Yeah. The heat
That's
fumes.
what it looks like. That's what it looks like for me. So the whole room could be crystal clear. And then this one spot would look like I was looking through the fumes of a grill. The whole area, this spot would change. And I later learned that was spirit trying to get my attention, or I was being drawn because there was a spirit there and I was drawn that way. So, and I was 3. That's because
amazing because a lot of people, what's amazing about it to me is that most people don't remember things from that age. You know what I mean? They say you don't really start having the memories till you're about 4, 5, 6.
Right.
That you recall. But to have those memories when you were 3, that must have been really profound for you to be able to remember exactly what happened during that time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That's cool.
And to this day, it still happens like that for me. Since then, I have seen things with my eyes. I don't see things physically on a regular basis. If I'm drawn to an area or if something is happening physically for me, I may see splotches of color, which has happened since I was a small child as well. like green or purple, sometimes like a black shadow that will morph or a white light that will kind of morph into something. But the rest happens in here. So, yeah, I mean, I have seen spirit physically with my eyes, like they were there. I have seen other things, but it's not a normal occurrence for me. The norm is the lights, the color, the shadows, the air changing, feeling like cold right next to me. The air will change right next to me. Usually on my left, because that's where spirit comes from, on my left. But yeah,
I think
that's
right now, do you like music, Kristie?
Love music.
We're going to take ourselves a quick music break.
Awesome.
And we're going to be playing some Mirrored and Seer, of course, some of my project stuff. That way Facebook cannot copyright me because it's mine. Yeah, take that, Zuckerberg. You can't take me down, Zuckerberg. We're going to play some music. We're going to come back here and hang out with Kristie London. We're going to be digging into more about her gifts and abilities and her little guest experiences on a familiar show on Travel Channel as well. We'll be right back, guys.
In pagan belief, gratitude is more than just a feeling. It's a sacred act. It connects us to the cycles of nature, honors our ancestors, and keeps our energy in harmony with the divine. By giving thanks for the gifts of the earth and the lessons of life, we strengthen our bond with the world around us and invite balance, abundance, and peace into our spiritual path. Gratitude is the heartbeat of a mindful life, a reminder to pause, breathe, and honor the blessings that surround us. In every sunrise, every lesson, every shared moment, gratitude transforms the ordinary into the sacred. It teaches us that even in struggle, there is growth, and in every ending, a quiet beginning is waiting to unfold.
The walls still whisper your name. Every shadow is your face. I light the match, but it's the same. Ashes fall where memories blaze. echo in the fire, dancing in my soul. The ashes lift me higher. When I've lost control, I'll keep screaming till the sky, until my final life fades with your echo in the fire tonight.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Hearth and the Stag. I am Sid without Jen tonight, and I'm emphasizing that tonight. I'm without Jen tonight, but we do have a lovely guest, Kristie London, on the show. Thank you, Kristie, for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So before the music video, there echoes in the fire by Moa. We were talking to Chris.
That was awesome. I have to tell you, I really enjoyed that song. Did you also write your intro?
Yeah, everything.
I enjoyed it very much. I wanted to tell you that. Yeah, you are very talented.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Now let's get back to you now, all right? We get back to you now. Enough about
Sure,
me.
why not?
I get uncomfortable about it too, just like you do, Kristie.
Fine.
Fine. We'll not talk about Sid no more. I get it. We were talking about what it was like for you younger, as you was younger. Now I want to kind of move into what you've been doing, like as an adult. You go on these investigations a lot, right? You and your partner, you've done. Do you have a distinct memory of one of your most scariest, or the one that kind of shook you the most investigation? Do you have a fond memory of one of those?
I do, but it wasn't with my partner. It was actually a private party I did for somebody. Yeah, it was somebody had this woman had reached out to me and her husband was having trouble. And there were things in the house. Her father had passed, her mother was living with them. And there were some things going on with her husband where he finally had to tell her what was happening. So I don't think I've ever talked to somebody who was so scared, especially a man, as scared as this man was. Like, he was shaking when he was talking to me, and he was telling me how he was pinned in his bed one night and how things were happening when he was sleeping, even if his wife was next to him. And what ended up happening to make them call was there was like they lived in this cute little ranch, and then they had a finished basement, and they have grandkids. So this one room had bunk beds in it, and I guess to make it easier so people could come home, he would sometimes go crash on the bunk beds downstairs so everyone could just kind of live in the house and it wouldn't bother him. So he said he was on his stomach and he was kind of coming out of his sleep, and he smelled his wife's perfume, which is kind of what made him wake up. And he kind of like, he was on his side, and he said he went, he flipped on his stomach, kind of like he was going to lift himself up and then like look right over like on the other side of the bed. And he said all of a sudden he felt something pin him down, like right below his butt on the back of his thighs. And it was hard, like a horrible weight. Like, you're not going anywhere. And he was like, what's going on? What's going on? And he's like, who are you? What do you want? And he said, all I heard was this evil laugh. Like, you're not like I've got you. And he knew and it was the thing that had been bothering him for months. So fast forward, I referred them to somebody because it was a little bit over my head. So I ended up doing a private party for them afterwards. I didn't think anything of it. So I walked downstairs, I go to this house to do the private party, and everyone's upstairs for the party. It's going to be private readings, which means I'm going to set up in a room where they're going to have me off by myself, and everyone's going to come in one at a time and do They're private readings. So she put me downstairs in the basement where this finished basement was, and it was gorgeous. You come down the stairs. As soon as you come down the stairs, you can see this bathroom. And immediately to the right, if you have to kind of make a right and swing around the stairs, you can see this cool kids' room, right? Neon colors, the whole bit. And then I look and there's these bunk beds. Still not registering with me. Just I'm thinking it's done. I'm not.
Oh, it's
whatever.
the same bunk beds that he talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So to the left, as you're coming down the stairs, is this wall. Well, then she pulls this accordion door back, and you go like this, and this whole rest of the basement is completely finished. It was gorgeous. Living room, kitchen. There was a bedroom off of it with a door. So she had me set up down there. So as soon as I got down there, I was like, oh, something does not want me here. Right. And here I'm like yelling at my guides going, you didn't give me a heads up on this. And that's why I tell my students, careful. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't ever know. You might get a heads up. You may not. You may pick up on it on your own. You may not. You have to just be confident in yourself and what you're capable of, because you might have to do whatever you got to do. So, yeah. So she's like, oh, is this good? And at first I was just drawn because it was just one big open room, right? So this kitchen area was beautiful. It was clean. It was whatever. But I was drawn to this one area. And there just happened to be a sketch, this fantastic sketch, but just like a regular sheet of paper that was like framed, of Ozzy Osbourne back in the day. But he looked almost demonic. And I was like, if this thing could jump off the page and hurt me, it would. Like, I knew that without a doubt. Like this, it was concentrated right on that spot. So I kind of told her, and I'm just kind of asking questions without trying to make her nervous. So I set up, she leaves me alone. Now there were like these bead things hanging in the doorway as well. So she goes upstairs and I'm setting up and I can feel it. It's almost like here, like wants to get in my face, but is keeping its distance. So I started having it. All of a sudden my angels were around me and I was like, okay, this is going to be great. I have like 8 readings to do. And I'm going, I got to deal with this thing now. Really? Are you kidding? So my angels were like, nope, we're going to barter. So I looked over at this thing. I didn't even get a clear vision of it. I just knew if it could hurt me, it would. And I said, listen, I'm not here to do anything with you. I'm not here to try to get rid of you. I'm here simply to do a job and to help these people. I said, I will stick to my area and leave you alone if you stick to yours and you leave me alone. And it was like we had this understanding. So as these people were coming down for the readings, and I went back upstairs. So I set up, I kind of meditated for a minute. I probably more ran up the stairs because it was intense. I talked to the group as a whole. I was up there maybe 15 minutes. I came back down. It was even more intense. It was almost like, what the fuck are you doing back down here? Like, there it is.
I told you to get the fuck out.
Yeah, like this thing was like, you're in my world right now. And I had absolute respect for that. So, I came back downstairs and I was talking to my guides and my angels and everyone who was listening and like, listen, I got to do this. So if you want me to do this, you got to help me. I need your help. So it was almost like there was a dome over me. So I think 3 people in, this lady comes down and the hostess had this cute little dog, right? So this lady comes down, the dog follows her, but the dog goes immediately to the kitchen and all of a sudden starts barking at the spot. Now I'm trying not to freak the woman out because
this is supposed to be a party.
She was nervous. Oh yeah, it was crazy. So she's like, come on, you got to go upstairs. Yeah, go upstairs. So the dog starts to run towards the beads hanging in the doorway and stops and was getting nervous, acting weird, like something was there and it wasn't going to let her through. So it wasn't until the lady got up and said, oh, come on, you're fine. And she went over there. The dog was allowed to go up the stairs. So with every reading I did, it's almost like the dome I was in was shrinking. Like, okay, you're here for one thing and you're going to do it. And then you're out of here. Like that's literally,
I'm out.
So, yeah, honest to God. So by the time the hostess came down, she had her reading. She shed so much more light on the situation as a whole, because she had actually called me prior to me referring her to somebody. I was getting ready to do a show, and I got this like 911 call from her. So I took it. And this is when like shit started really hitting the fan. And then later I talked to her husband. It was just this whole thing. So it was just crazy. So some of the things she had shared with me then and even previously, there's always more to it, right? There's always more than what someone's willing to share, even if they don't realize they're holding back. Like they're not purposely holding back. Sometimes they're just telling you what they think is important. So talking to her, I was like, oh, I can absolutely see why you have the issue that you have here and how it came to be. So wrap things up with her. And I said, okay, I'm going to close everything down. I will be good to go. Let me just do my thing. This thing was like, get the fuck out of here. like you're done. So I said, boop, here you go. I closed it. I sent everyone back. I ran up those stairs so fast.
I'll send you the bill via email.
Yeah, it was crazy. I went back upstairs. I was like, okay, you're good to go. And the person that I referred had to go in and really, they were a demonologist, and had to really handle it for them. Yeah, that was the first time I was actually ever, I knew I was up against something I was not ready to handle myself. That was the craziest.
That was the craziest story. Was you talk about when the guy was talking about how he had something jump on top of him and pin him down. I've had that happen to me a couple of different times when I was a child.
Really?
Yeah, my dad kept my bedroom was in the basement of the house, and it was when I turned the lights up, it's completely dark, like solid black. And I can remember wanting to get up to go pee, and as soon as I get up to go pee, something grabbed me and literally felt like lifted me off the ground, threw me back onto the bed, and then pinned me there. And it was like it was whatever it was. It wasn't trying to let me speak. Every time I felt like there was a hand over my mouth, preventing me to speak any words out loud. And I can hear in the pillow. Oddly enough, I was hearing a voice on the pillow. And they were saying something in the lines of "Don't let him go. He don't belong there. So we're not going to let you go." And I was like, "What the?" And it scared me so bad. I was probably about 16 years old, and I ran up to my sister's room and hopped into bed with her. I didn't go back to that basement for a couple of weeks.
I wouldn't have either. I mean, there are certain things, and not everything's a demon. People are always quick to jump to that conclusion, right? But I do believe they exist, and I do believe that it is something we deal with. You can't have yin without yang. Can't have yang without yang. It's just the way it is.
That's a good comment right here. Mary Beth thinks, I think you need to embrace both light and dark on a way to fully understand it.
I agree, Mary Beth. And that's the thing is people, and I respect my friends and my colleagues that say, nope, I'm just a light worker. I'm just a light worker. If I don't give it, attention, then nope, we're just going to do this. But I'm meant for something different. That's what they're meant for. I'm meant for something different. I have only come across something like that twice. The rest of it, you're talking, you can have leeches, you can have parasites, you can have human energies that have deteriorated, we'll say, for a lack of a better way to describe it. There's so much out in the universe. I like, there are a few movies and a few shows that I like to refer to because I think they are very indicative of what's really out there. So like the Insidious movies, when they go into the after, what is it called? The shoot. See, it's that damn brain fog again. Yes. The nether, that's what it is, the nether, right? So, but that's true. Like when you have like a human spirit that's hanging in this balance, right? That's in this in between. Just like if you're in
why does that
a toxic
happen?
Situation, people don't cross for so many reasons. There's so many reasons.
Just not want to let go of family. Is that like the biggest? They just don't want to let go of family. they can't bear to say goodbye, so they linger around just to see how
Some
things
people
go.
don't realize. Some people don't realize they're gone. Some people are afraid. Some people are afraid to let go of family, or they have business to take care of, not realizing that if you go into the light, you can come and go as you please and you're protected. Like, and all the stuff that you dealt with as a human being, you're no longer inhibited by it. But when you, much like when you're in a toxic situation or relationship, it's the same idea. It's going to wear you down. It's going to change you. And when you stay in this in between, this earthbound, right? So I always like to say, wow, this is like the worst. It's been Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ghost Whisperer. I love that show. It's older now. I don't know if anyone of you are familiar with it, but how she would receive the earthbound spirits, right? And sometimes she was afraid because she's like, why are you attacking me? They're not. She's picking up on their energy and what happened to them. So that's another thing that I work with my students to say, we have to remember, discernment is huge. Just because you're feeling something doesn't mean they're trying to be nasty. You're trying to hurt you, right? It means you might just be picking up on what they're feeling or what they experienced. So it's, I love having the different shows and movies and things. I think, some of these people who have written these stories are pretty spot on. So whether they're using their own experiences and gifts, or whether their imaginations are just right where they need to be, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons why people don't cross, though. And I have dealt with parasites. I have dealt with leeches. I have dealt with very, very, and you know what, quite honestly, here you go. Here's another one. What's this bring me up to? Once an asshole in life, you can be an asshole in death too. Because if you don't cross over and
Is
you were an abuser,
is it intensified in the afterlife?
I don't know that it's intensified.
If you're an asshole in real life, does that make you a poltergeist in the afterlife?
I don't think it purposely intensifies things. I think I don't know. I mean, I wish I don't have all the answers, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. I think
Have you been asked that before?
No, I've never been asked that before. Actually,
I'll be the first then.
yes. See, there you go.
It's the conversation makes you curious, though. If you're a prick in life, if you're just that Mr. Scrooge every day of your life, in reality, does that transcend into the afterlife? Is that the ones that do the poltergeisting and the
I see.
shells?
I misunderstood. Yes. If they have not crossed into the light and they're just hanging out, in the earthbound plane, then yes. If they don't have to be nice just because they died. They can, and sometimes dying or whatever happened to them made them more bitter. Sure. Absolutely. I dealt with the first time I was actually, I mean, I've been touched, I've been poked, I'm not a stranger to having, spirit touch me or whatever in some way, shape, or form, but I'd never been hurt or attacked or scratched.
Why is it always three scratch marks?
I think that the theories are all different depending, but when I got scratched, it was 3 and I was sitting right in this spot in my house, which I keep on lockdown right here. I was pissed because I keep my house very secure because my daughter goes back and forth between my house and her father's. So, and my kids are all very gifted, including my youngest. So yeah, at the time she was still going back and forth, and the fact that it happened, we were helping with a residential case and we hadn't even gone there yet. We always do a video chat first. And Mike lives in Rochester. So, excuse me, we always have to do them video because it's just easier. So I was sitting here on mute and we have StreamYard. So we were using StreamYard, no weird program or anything. He was doing his thing, talking to them. I had a notepad here and I literally was sitting here. I had a short sleeve, I think, on, and I was literally just kind of listening to what they were doing. I was looking down. Something changed, like my living room was like over here. So I felt like a kind of a shift, but before I could even comprehend it, I felt a burning on my forearm. And it literally 1, 2, 3. I took pictures right away and I actually text the pictures. Now here I'm trying not to react because I was like, what the hell is that? I looked down and I'm watching these 3 scratches appear on my arm. And I looked over and I was like, crazy. Oh, I was livid. But that was the kinds of issues these girls were having, unfortunately. we ended up not being able to take the case. It was too involved. And because they were not being honest with us, that's the hard part when you're willing to help somebody and we don't charge. We only ask for a donation if you can afford to give one. If not, we're helping you anyway. So, and actually we don't even ask. If people ask, we'll tell them donate what you can. We don't even bring out money. So to put all that time and effort and energy and putting ourselves, because once someone calls me, now I have a target on my back. So now I have to be careful, right? And I usually have a target on my back even before they call because I don't know they're calling, but spirit does. So there are a lot of times.
What are your methods? What are the methods for you to protect yourself then? What do you do to protect yourself from these entities or these
Sure.
bad spirits?
So I have a special team of guides that look out for me. I sage. I have stones and crystals. My faith, huge, my faith. And just the fact that I won't tolerate it. That's huge too. Being confident in myself, knowing that I will handle
You're not giving these. And I think it's really important as well, not giving these entities your power by showing fear or showing insecurity in what you're doing. They're gonna latch onto that. And they're gonna feed off that.
I always tell people, or like when I work with my students, it's like, yes, you've had these gifts your whole life and you might have been able to adjust and adapt like most of us. But now if things are getting worse for you and they're getting heightened, it's because you are meant to continue to learn how to use your gifts and figure out what that means for you. Because a lot of people will say, well, I don't want to do what you do. You're public, you're this or that. And it's like, but that doesn't mean you have to do what I do, how I do it. It means you have to figure out what you're meant to do. But the only way to get this under control is to learn yourself. And I know it's scary, but it will be less scary if you learn it and you understand it. So it's like when you don't really have a grip on it, it's like having an unarmed security guard standing at the door of your store. When you own it and you know what you're capable of, you're now an armed security guard. And that is absolutely a deterrent because now people are going to see that gun on your hip and they're going to keep walking. If they don't see the gun on your hip, they're going to test you. Right. Yeah. So, and some of them still will, but you've now armed yourself even just with the knowledge of you. And it's hard. It's scary. It's, people aren't sure because
you have to remind these spirits or these entities who's actually in charge of my space. It's not you. You're not allowed to. You have to be, there's a certain amount of confidence that you have to have. Sure, you can know what you're doing. You can study all you want to, but if you're not confident in who you are, you got a bigger bullseye.
You have to believe.
Yeah.
Yep. You have to believe in yourself. You have to accept yourself for who you are. And you have to, I always tell, especially, the females can relate to this the most, right? The ladies, because we all were taught this. If you're walking to your car from a bar late at night and you see these three dudes coming up on you, are you just going to be like, okay, here I am, do whatever you want with me? Or are you going to fight? Are you going to follow your gut instinct and you're going to do what you need to do? Well, we're going to do what we need to do, right? So it's the same thing that I tell everybody else. Just follow your gut instinct. Just trust your gut. You will be able to handle it. You will be able to
hard. Get it. Granted, it's hard because you question what your gut says because you're not for sure if it's my head saying it or just my gut saying it.
Yep.
But the more you practice it, the more you get used to your abilities, you start to know what is your gut instinct and what is your head telling you what's going on.
You got it. It's true. It's true. You have to get out of your head. And that's the thing when you're dealing with the spirit world, when you're dealing with spirituality, spirit does not work. Spirit works with feeling, not logic. So even when I do a party or I have a private client, this is what I explain to them. This is what I need from you in order to make the connections and validate what I'm going to say to you today. Get out of your head. Spirit, I want you to follow your gut. And I always tell them, the more crazy you think you're going to sound, the more weird you think it's going to be, the more awkward it is for you, the more accurate you're going to be. The more accurate you're going to be. Welcome to my world. Nothing that I'm going to say to you. Right? I have to trust that. So here I am. So that's what you need. And people are like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way. So it's pretty cool, but that's what I do. And, if and when I need to learn more, I learn more, or I ask for help, or I call, I have friends and colleagues that I can call, that we look out for each other. And, but really, honestly, at the end of the day, it comes down to me. It comes down to our intentions. It comes down to how much we believe in what we're doing. So, and who we are and what we can do. So, there have been times, where my house feels unsettled and I know something's around that shouldn't be. And so I have to take care of it. Sorry, get out. This is my
Abracadabra.
space.
Get the fuck out.
You got that right. You got that right.
So you've had, I like what Amanda says here. She says setting boundaries with spirits is not very different from setting boundaries with the living. If you have the confidence and the inner strength to set boundaries and tell people no in the real world, that transcends over to the spirit world. If you got that kind of confidence, you can have that same exact confidence in 100%. The spirit realm as well.
Yeah, which is exactly why too people struggle with that, right? Because most of us struggle with boundaries with people in our lives, and so how in the world are we going to address something we can't even see, right? Or something that we aren't necessarily sure we believe. It really all comes down to our intentions.
Mary Beth says here,
fire.
I think gifts enhance when you're around others who also have it.
Totally agree.
The reason why it's nothing spiritual or magical about it. I think it's that you're comfortable around these groups of people, which allows you to relax and not be so much on guard. It's not that it's enhancing your gifts. It's that you're letting some of your guards down and allowing your true potential, true potential transcend out into reality.
I agree. And, that was one of the first things that my first mentor told us. And it's something that I still teach my own, that, when you are going to embark on this journey, once you've made this commitment and the door swings all the way open, good luck closing it, because that means, yep, I'm here and it's all going to come in and we got to learn what we need to do with it. So what happens is then you're right. It's partly because you are comfortable, right? But your family, the people you live with, even if they have nothing to do with it, say, we're all human beings, we're all capable of it. So more than likely your husband, your spouse, or whoever, your partner, your kids, they're all going to start noticing things, even if it's just little subtle things here or there that they weren't noticing before. Because when you're in that energy, or somebody especially is capable of it and doesn't know it, oh yeah, that's going to really help bring out, that's kind of how that's how kind of the door really ended up swinging open for me. My childhood friend, Amanda Newberry.
Hi, Amanda.
We grew up what's that?
Hi, Amanda.
Hi. Oh, is she in here?
I don't know. I just figured out if she ever was.
Well, she and I grew up together, right? And then we lost touch as adults. She moved and whatnot, and then came back. And she and her son, she made an announcement on Facebook one time that she was practicing her gifts, as she knew she was gifted. It was looking for people to, be guinea pigs, like to practice on. So I was like, come on over, you can practice on me, right? So they start reading me, and then I ended up reading them, and that was it. The rest was history. And she said to me later, I was told that if you didn't invite me, I was going to have to ask to come over, because I was supposed to, because you've been waiting too long and they knew you needed a kick in the ass. Because they're tired of waiting for you to come around and do this. And I was like, oh my God, okay, here we go. Like literally my house shook and made weird noises. It was really odd. It was, it was pretty cool. And then the rest
Will says here in the comments, years ago, I had someone try to do a reading for me. She took my hands, and I ended up seeing things about her childhood, which is not my intention, because I didn't understand then how to control it.
Yeah.
That's a scary scenario too, because as a kid, you don't know how to control it, but you start to, once you start accepting these things and you start really letting it in and then working with it, you become so much better at it and later in life.
Right. Sorry. Can I, William, do you want a message?
Well, do you want a message? Just give him one.
Okay, well, I need to make sure. My nose started to itch, right? It stopped when I realized the message was for you. So when my nose on the end starts to itch like that and it gets real red, it means somebody is really worried about something. What I see with you is that you are really worried about something going on with work, and your spirit guides are telling you if you just calm down and relax and let it work itself out, it will work itself out. You have to stop trying to insert yourself or keep on top of what's going on. Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Oh, that's so
It will work
crazy.
itself
I'm,
out.
I'm close with William. I work with William on the International Pagan Radio. I do a radio show for them guys on Sunday, so we talk a lot, and that's crazy. Go on. I'm sorry.
What? So are you validating me? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sort of validating you. Yes.
All right. So stop worrying because I don't want to itch my nose for the whole rest of the show. Okay.
I noticed that too. I noticed that your nose was going a little red, and I thought, is she tearing up or something like that? And then
Yeah.
that's cool. He says, I can in a bit.
Oh, will you validate in a bit?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. Okay. William is speaking cryptic to us right now.
So
you've had your brushes with. I'm sorry. We kind of gone over the R. Is that okay?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you had your brush with reality TV as well with Destination Fear. How was that experience for you?
That was really. I never in a million years would have thought that I would have ever have been asked to be on a TV show like that. It was really cool. And I just was being me during a tour, an investigation at the Statler. And I did not know that somebody that was there was involved with the Travel Channel and the bigger networks like that. And when I channeled Mary Jean Carlo on the 8th floor, it was pretty freaking crazy. She was floored. And then months later, I get this, and I forgot she was even there and that it even happened. And she was like, how would you like to tell that on TV? And I was like, okay. What? I was like, are you joking? She's like, no, there's a new show coming out and they're going to, they want to come to the Statler. And I told them what happened with you. And I said, well, hell yeah. So it was really awesome.
I'll get my lipstick together, get my hair nice and prettied up, just to go into a haunted house. Just for you, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put you on a spot, Kristie.
Uh-oh.
Clear your mind, Kristie.
Okay.
That was that easy, huh?
No, I worked all day too. Okay. So and don't forget the whole perimenopause thing sucks. So
well, we can't forget about that. We cannot forget about that. I'm going to put your abilities to the test.
Oh, okay.
I know that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just a matter if anybody's coming through. So I totally get if it doesn't.
Okay.
But I'm curious of what you see with me.
You really want me to answer that? How personal do you want me to get?
Well, let's not get too personal.
You put a medium on the spot, dude. I don't know what to tell you. All right.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you asked for it. You thought you were going to corner me.
All right, give it to me.
All right. So as far as work goes, and so I'm going to tell you right now, your spirit guides are talking to me because this is divine. I feel like work is good, but it could be better. I feel like they're showing me and telling me that, you're okay there, but if you need to make a change, then you need to make a change and you need to stop feeling guilty about that. Because if you're being pulled, it means there's something else waiting for you that you're supposed to be doing, and you don't want to miss that opportunity. You really need to work on the guilt and the sorrow you have with the loss of your son. What was your father's first name?
Sydney.
He says that you're a lot like him and that you were two peas in a pod.
We was.
So I'm looking to my left because that's where spirit comes from. Right is divine. So your father says you get your taste in clothing from him, and he laughs when he says that. He's also indicating something about his heart. He didn't have to die from that, but did he have a heart issue?
He had a triple bypass heart surgery.
Okay. Thank you. So he's also wearing something plaid. It looks like a plaid coat or a plaid
It's a button-up T-shirt and it's plaid tropical print.
No, it's plaid. It's like plaid kind of.
Oh my gosh! I'm not bullshitting you right now. Right now, my childhood. Look, I'm gonna show you something. Hang on.
Okay, because I can't see anything back there. Oh, I definitely can't see that. Oh, that would be it. It's like a brown and like a, oh, I love that. Your dad keeps going like this. Why is he doing this?
I don't know. He was shorter than me.
Think. Okay, so he's showing the height difference. I will also say, although he is talking to me, he's laughing. He's laughing hysterically at you for some reason.
That's what we did.
Oh, oh, really? So that's
we sat around and joked and laughed with each other so much so that we lose our breath laughing at each other.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, he's still doing it. I will also say about him, he was not able to communicate effectively or at all at the time he passed. Is that correct?
We didn't speak for 5 years.
Okay. So were you there? You weren't there at the end?
No.
Okay. So the way he comes forward tells me that, but he also tells me that he was in and out. He keeps saying it was touch and go. So there'd be times where they would think, okay, he really can't communicate well, and then he'd bounce back or something. And then, but right at the end, when he was about to pass, something was going on where he was not able to communicate either effectively or at all. I know you might be able to validate that later. They usually share things that they know you have resources to validate. He's showing me he's painting a portrait, or he's painting. There's like a canvas, there's an easel, and he's painting something.
There's a painting of his mom.
He says, the most beautiful woman in the world.
That's his mom. And there's an Indian painting I have that reminds me of my grandmother that I have hanging up on the wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He said, son, you can do this. Cut the shit. And those were his words. Does that mean something to you?
My dad was one of those that he didn't have a filter. So yeah, that sounds about like my dad. He'll just tell you how he felt. Right or wrong, he'll tell you exactly how he felt.
He just gave you a great big hug.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a sister?
Yes, I do.
He says, tell her to get her act together.
My God. Okay, that's like the biggest confirmation of them all right there.
He says, and don't feel guilty. Don't you feel guilty about doing what you have to do either when it comes to that situation. She made her own bed. She's got to lie in it, or she's got to get herself out of it.
That's so crazy.
He says, I'm behind you on this one.
He's going to have no choice. What else is he going to do?
And I will say that he is in the light. He comes from the light. So he has crossed over.
He's had crossed over?
He has. He is in the doesn't get any better than where he's at. What's that?
He's with his mom then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry I put you on the spot, but that just tells you, folks.
No, you're not.
I'm not. But there's a purpose behind it. I just wanted the audience to see the authenticity of what Kristie does. And
Thanks.
her gifts are real. It's not just her asking, or other people like other mediums. They ask you a bunch of questions first and then kind of feed off that. As you can tell, folks, live right now, I did not give her any inkling of any idea of anything that she said. I just gave her confirmation. That's all I did. So that just tells everybody how genuine and authentic you really are, Kristie.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us.
I appreciate that.
Before we leave tonight, Kristie, is there anything that you would like to throw out for the world, like places that people can find you at, your services, anything like that? Would you like to take your moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I have big announcement because I have I hold every year 50% off sale, a half off sale for private readings. So I've been doing this for years, and it's one way that I get to give back. It's on private individual readings only, and it's a very specific sale. And I do it midnight on Thanksgiving through midnight of Cyber Monday. So you have 4 days to take advantage of this. What I do is you place an order for either a half-hour reading or an hour reading, and I send out gift cards. You can use them for yourself. You can buy them as gifts. You can do whatever. And I will be posting the details soon. I don't post it too early because then people think it's already going. Even if I have the date posted in 8 places, they still think it's happening when I post it. So I just try to keep it closer with the details, but it will be coming up soon. And it's one way that I get to give back. And sometimes I know people cannot afford to do it. This helps them to do it. So an hour long reading is $150. It's half off. It's $75. Half an hour is $100. So it's only $50. So, and they don't expire. So I have clients that for years have purchased their own and they just use them throughout the year. And people who give them as gifts, things like that. So that's coming up. So please watch my pages for that. And you can find me on Facebook at Kristie London. I have a public page. And I also have Kristie London, Medium and Reiki Master, which is my business page. You can always call me, text me if you need a messenger on Facebook. I do have a website. It's blueeyedempath.com. But yeah, and you can actually see the episode of the Statler on there as well from Destination Fear and some other things that I've done. Yeah, but that's about it. Most of my events have wrapped up, but I will be doing events coming up here next year. Potographs is one of my favorites, and it is one of the most special. Tim and Lauren Miley hold that, so I will be there. And this would have been Murray's 20th birthday. So we're going to actually have like this big celebration. It's going to be awesome. So look that up. If you're not familiar, Tim has an amazing story about mental health, which is what fueled the whole thing. When Murray was alive, Murray would go to these shows and he would photograph things, which is how that was born. He had a picture of himself and he would photograph it, which is pretty cute. But yeah, it really is. So there's lots coming up for the new year. Everything's kind of quieting down now with the holidays, which is
it's the holidays. So, I'm surprised you're doing something on Thanksgiving.
Well, I don't. It's an email order. So you'll place your orders via email. So that's the nice thing. I put it up there and then people do it at their leisure because some people do shop on Thanksgiving. But you have 4 days to do it. I had done it for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And then I was like, well, then Small Business Saturday started. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just do a little discount for this. And it got confusing.
Monday came along.
Yeah, I was like, forget it. You know what? I run in this half price sale. None of this $10 off on this day and $5 off on this day. Everyone gets it for 4 days. Place your orders. You got 4 days to place the orders. After that, it does not happen again until next year. Although this year I did do it in July as well. Just because
Christmas in July.
That's pretty much what I felt like doing this year. But normally I only do this
once
once a year.
Monday. We got Cyber Monday and Fuck It Tuesday.
Yeah, it goes on and on. It just never ends. You know.
Kristie, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. It was a pleasure to officially meet you.
You too. I had a great time. I really appreciate you having me on.
I hope I didn't talk to you too much or make you too uncomfortable talking about yourself tonight.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We'll let the premenopausal things pass. We'll never talk about that again. We'll never talk about that again. Be sure to go find Kristie here on Facebook, Kristie London. send her go to her profile, give it a like, give it a follow, and be sure to check out these this Thanksgiving Day deals and stuff she's got going on for the 4 days as well. That's super cool that you're doing that. Outside of that, I think that's a wrap on it. I think I successfully made it through the show by myself.
You did great. Hey, I told you, I got your back. We did this together. It's all good.
Ooh, we did do this together, didn't we?
Yes.
Man.
And I hope Jen does well, and I look forward to meeting her at some point in the future.
Shit happens, you know. Just one of those shitty days when shit happens, I guess. I'm sure she'll be better next week. Jen, we love you. We do, I swear. Thank you again, Kristie. Thanks everybody who tuned in tonight. And thank you everyone who's tuning in later to watch this show. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. We're going to have Miriam King on the show. We're playing some of her music and talk about her path as well. And then don't forget, Sundays, 8 p.m. on International Pagan Radio. Myself and my part-time co-host, Jen Norman. We're bringing you The Witch Next Door live on the air. So be sure to tune in for both of those shows. Until then, guys, be safe, be well. I'm going to leave you with one last song. This is The Moon Knows My Name. You guys have a great night and see you guys Sunday. Thanks again, Kristie.
Thank you.
The moon remembers my name. Whispers drift through silver skies. The night unveils her ancient eyes. I walk where shadows weave and wane, and the moon remembers my name. Every tear I've ever cried, every truth I tried to hide, still burns in a lunar flame. The moon remembers my name. She calls to me through the dark. A ghostly light ignites my heart. No church, no chain, no shame. The moon remembers my name. She hums my soul's refrain. The moon remembers my name. Beneath the stars, I cast my spell, where love and loss entwine so well. The earth sighs softly, wild and tamed, while the moon remembers my name. I am the storm the night became, the echo wrapped in sacred flame. No matter how the years may change, the moon remembers my name. She calls to me through the dark. A ghostly light ignites my heart. No church, no chain, no shame. The moon remembers my name. She hums my soul's refrain. The moon remembers my name. When I am dust, when I am gone, She'll sing my shadow song through veil and time.